Tori Kruse. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Please put your comments below, and you can also find me on social media at Miss Tori Kruse. I'm super excited for today's interview. We have Laura Ratliff. She is Mrs. Australia. Yes, you heard it, Australia International 2020. And Laura is a wife. She's an entrepreneur. She's a public speaker. She's a philanthropist. She grew up in Sydney, Australia. And I am just super honored to have you on the show today, Laura. We connected here on Facebook. And it's just amazing what social media does, especially during these crazy times of the coronavirus. We make new friends, new connections all over the world. So Laura, I'm super excited to get chatting with you and learn more about you. So welcome to the show, and thank you so much for joining us today.
It was so sweet, Tori. Thanks for having me on. I know coronavirus has just made everything so crazy. So it was really nice meeting you online during, I think it was the Winter Pageant seminar that you're in. So yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Alicia Darby. That's her Winter Pageant seminar. So yeah, it's awesome. So Laura, just dive in a little bit and tell us a little bit more about your background. I know you have a lot going on, and just a little bit more about what you're up to currently.
Great. Thanks, Tori. Well, my background's a little bit all over the place. I started acting and dancing at the age of 5 because I was so shy that my mum put me into acting class, and it really helped me with confidence and so forth. Then I went on to doing acting and dancing at a selective performing arts high school. In my mid-20s, built a business around performing to kids. 10 years later, I now have the business Australia-wide. It's in the US, and I have stumbled across my why. So I'm all about helping kids in poverty. So my philanthropy work, I speak a lot there. So yeah.
That's amazing. And I love how you said you figured out your why. That was my turning point when it came to pageantry, was like, okay, when I figured out my why, that is when everything started going up. So can you talk a little bit on that, about that point from when you didn't really know your why to now being super, super clear on it?
Absolutely. Well, Tori, I started my business in my middle 20s. So I was just kind of building it, doing what I love to do, but just didn't really understand how to actually live a proper life from the inside out. So I was looking for strategies, marketing strategies, and so forth to build my business. But it wasn't until my 30s really that I started delving in gratitude. And I know you love this, Tori. And I started writing a journal every day, saying my I am statements and so forth. And it wasn't until like about 3 or 4 years later that I realized that kids was my true passion in life. And that's the reason why I'm here in this world. And there's a billion children, Tori, a billion children living in poverty around the world. So it's my mission and my purpose to help those kids also have the opportunity to achieve their dream, whatever that dream may be. So yeah.
Yeah, we need more people like you in the world. I mean, 1 billion, that is crazy to wrap your mind around. Absolutely. And I know we were talking a little bit off camera about pageants in Australia. Let's touch on that a little bit and how different it is from competing in a pageant in the United States.
It definitely is different. It's got a different feel to it. I feel that in America, the pageant ladies have been doing it since they were 5. In Australia, there's a lot of performing arts industry, but the pageantry as a young child isn't really there. So it's not until you're the Miss and the Misses that you come into the pageantry world. So it definitely was amazing to see both sides of the coin, as I'm living in America at the moment, and I flew in and we spend about 6 months of the time in Australia every year, which is awesome. Yeah. So it's great to see both sides. And I have sisters, obviously, sisters in Australia and in America. And it's just the culture. It's different, but it's great on both sides. So
yes, I just picked up on something. Sash sisters.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Sash and your sister.
That is so cute. I love that. I love it. So you told me previously that you struggled with confidence when you were a little girl. How have you really overcame a lot of those confidence issues?
Thank you for asking me, because when I was 5, I was petrified at school. The teacher would ask me questions. And I think it's because I'm very creative. I think in a different way. And I didn't at school commit to learning like ABCs, 1, 2, 3s and mathematics. I thought in pictures. So learning the way all the other kids did, it was difficult for me. So the teacher would say, stand up, Laura, and answer this. But she thought by pushing me, it would help me and encourage me to learn faster, but it didn't. It made me shut down on the inside, and it was quite a traumatic experience. So when my mum put me into acting, it was the supportive environment where you got in and did these creative plays with your friends, and everyone would clap at the end of it in a supportive environment. And because of that, it built confidence in my later years, in my high school years. I just came out of my shell and everyone was like, whoa, where did that come from, Laura? But I adopt those skills that I learned in acting into my everyday life. And that's how I'm able to speak publicly and share my passions and my heart to people. But if it wasn't for the performing arts and supportive community that there is, I don't think I would be here today talking to you, Tori. I'd be too petrified to get on to this camera and share who I am and what I'm about. So yeah, it's really being in a supportive community and having people around you that are like-minded, and that really helped my confidence going forward.
Yes, that's so beautiful. And what's really interesting there is that everybody kind of has that breakthrough moment in different areas. For you as performing arts and, acting. And there's a lot of listeners here, with my channel, my podcast, and everything that are models and that are actors. And one thing that comes along with that industry is also being told no quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And you've had that experience as well in pageantry. So let's touch on that a little bit as far as when you got told no when it came to acting. With your confidence already being a little bit fragile, how did you get back up every single time you're being told no?
It's definitely a difficult experience to go through, especially as a teenager. You put your heart and soul into auditioning. For example, I auditioned for NIDA, and the first time I auditioned for it, NIDA is a National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney, Australia, the one that Kate Blanchett went to. There you go.
Oh, how cool.
She now owns it. But anyways, I auditioned twice. In my early 20s, I auditioned, I got knocked back, but I got to the final callbacks. So out of thousands of people around Australia, I got to the final 40, which was huge. Got knocked back and said I was too young, so go travel. I went traveling for 3 years, came back, and I got knocked back because I got to the finals again, and they said I was too old, just go start working. And I was like, are you kidding me? But Tori, we touched on this before. It's really important to know your why and to always do things that you love to do. I loved acting. I wasn't sure why I did. I just knew I loved it every time I was in a scene or meeting new actors, doing new productions, doing film and TV and so forth. I loved the whole experience. So it's really important to find the joy in what you're doing. And if you don't enjoy it, maybe that's just not for you. Go find the thing that you love, because during doing the thing that you love, you will find your why and your purpose. And that's when the power comes out into the world and you can do really cool things.
Yeah. And you really, it seems like it's a process, right? Like to figure out what that is, you have to kind of go in. A lot of times, did you find yourself going in different industries or different things, or did you pretty much find it right away when it came to?
Yeah. So going back to your other question, Tori, as well, it kind of combines with what you just asked me. I think it's important to keep on going and not stop. Always follow your nose and don't stop because you get a negative response or a no, or there's someone that says, you should lose weight or you should have brown hair or whatever. Don't listen to the naysayers. Always stay to what you want. If it's being in Hollywood and you really want to get that contract or whatever, oh my gosh, the actor that did The Mask, I'm having a blank right now.
With the nose, you were talking about, listen, follow your nose. And then Jim
Carrey is who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey would every morning stand at the top of a mountain and like visualize and feel what he wanted to feel. And then I think he was going for $1 million. He wanted to get $1 million check. And so he would visualize that every morning and he'd scream at the top of the lungs and do his I ams and do all that crazy stuff that you think is crazy, but it's the great stuff that we should be doing every day.
Yes.
And he actually manifested that $1 million. It was The Mask that he got his first contract with, and then the rest of the story. So it's really important to know what you want to do, visualize it, and keep on going. And the negativity in the world, let's face it, we are surrounded by so much of it. We need to shut it out. And actually, Alicia said this amazing thing. She said that the negativity is like the devil, and you need to block it out by saying no. No.
Yeah.
And you can control it in your mind. And when you do that, that's when you find your success in your life is really starting to play. So if you get the no, don't worry, just keep on going and manifest and be open to experiences, because yes, I have kind of gone the left and gone the right. And then I found entrepreneurism, and then so my acting career kind of has come away, and now I found pageantry because I've found my why in helping kids. So but that's a great journey. I just kept on following my nose, being open, rejecting negativity, doing my I ams, connecting internally to visualize, but always know that in the low moments, that is when magic happens, because we find the answers to what we need in life. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, after every like crisis moment, just like we're going
Yeah.
through now in our world, it's
Yeah.
going to be making history books, right? And it's just like in these crisis moments, there's always breakthrough on the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how have you used this time of quarantine to
Yeah.
really like catapult you forward?
Yeah. So it's so funny, Tori, like, as you know, my philanthropy side of it, I've written a book, and I wrote it in 2 weeks. And I was so hesitant to write a book. For about 3 or 4 years, Tori, I wanted to write a book, and I thought it was to write my experience of my performing to actors so that they can build a business. I thought it was that. But then through everything that's happened and following my nose through pageantry, I discovered why I needed to write my first book. And it was to help teenagers find success in their life and adopt habits every day that will help them control their mind, be in tune with their emotions and so forth. So I wrote a book within 2 weeks of COVID, and now it's in the editing area, and we're about to publish it. And I've connected to a non-for-profit who is in alignment with exactly what I am, to end poverty within children. So I haven't stopped. I obviously can't do in-person events, which I normally would,
Right.
but I've just kind of done things that I've been putting on the back burner, and I achieved it. And I said, no, I'm not going to put it on the back burner anymore. I really want to write a book, and I found the topic to write. So it's really exciting.
That's exciting. You will have to tell me when that is like done. It's out in the world. I will buy it and totally support you in that for sure. That's really, really incredible.
Thank you.
And sorry, go ahead.
I will announce in like 2 weeks' time what the backstory of that book is. We're connecting to an amazing non-for-profit, which I'm not going to say yet because we're about to launch it in 2 weeks, but it's very exciting. So if you buy the book, the profits will go to help kids in poverty. Yay!
That's incredible. That's amazing. You're doing great things.
Thank you.
So you just competed for Mrs. International, correct?
Yes, correct.
So you're Mrs. Australia. How many contestants were in this pageant?
So usually it's a little bit more. COVID cut the numbers in half, but this year I think it was 35 contestants from around America, and there was a couple of people outside of America, and it was amazing. These women are so heart-centered, so passionate, and doers in the world, and it's really great to see other women wanting to make a difference and connecting to their heart. So yeah, it was an amazing week.
That's incredible. And how did you do in the pageant? That's
thank you for asking.
Right? I know a little bit of detail, but
so I didn't get Mrs. International, which is fine. It's a blessing in disguise. I won the People's Choice Award, which means I have a lot of followers around the world who really were behind me, and they all voted for me online, which I'm so excited. So now I have that responsibility to really keep on going with my journey, which is just, Tori, if you had asked me 2 years ago where I would be right now, I'd be like, are you kidding me? No.
Right? You just never know where God's going to lead us and where our path is going to take us. So first of all, congratulations on People's Choice. That is a huge, huge honor. And that's just definitely something to be recognized. So congratulations on that. And another thing is with a lot of my coaching programs and just me as a person who, what I speak on is how pageantry has been a stepping stone. And I know you said previously about a lot of girls in the US compete in pageants at a young age. I actually didn't start till I was 18.
Oh, no way.
Which is crazy because I was playing sports growing up, and that was just my nature, Yeah. And then when I started competing in pageantry, then, after a few years of just wanting to win, I went on and discovered my why. And that's why I relate with you so much. But one of the biggest things I believe with pageantry is using this opportunity and this experience that we gain from pageantry as a stepping stone to our next success. So tell me how pageantry has really been a learning opportunity, a phenomenal experience. You
Mhm.
didn't get down and discouraged that you didn't win. It sounds like you have the same mindset as far as using this as, a stepping stone to your next success.
Tori, absolutely. As you know, I came from a business background and I needed this platform to discover my purpose and my why. I knew I loved kids before because I was performing to them. My business is entertaining them at kids' parties. And I knew I loved that, but I just knew that I was here to make a difference. And so through finding pageantry, and there was a local title holder in Utah, and I found an article about her, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the platform. And I showed my husband, and we decided to do it together. So it was just magical. And then through the process, I found my why. So absolutely, pageantry, if anyone's out there listening to this who hasn't competed and they think it's all tiaras and high heels, absolutely, you get to wear high heels and tiaras maybe, but it's actually about the internal work and the journey. And if you're in it to get the tiara, you're not gonna have the best journey of your life. Just be open to the journey and to attaching yourself to a platform that you really are passionate about. Because when you do that, that's when magic happens in your life. And as you did, Tori, you went on, I wanted to say tiara, Tori, you went on to do amazing things and to empower women and so forth. And I know that there's a lot of women in the past who've also done a similar road. So if you're out there and listening to this and you're thinking, I don't know, it's all about bikinis, it's really not. Just enter and have fun and absolutely use Tori, because Tori's the best coach ever. Coaching is important though. I use coaching through my process, and that's how I was able to kind of peel myself like an onion. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that concept. Peel yourself like an onion. And it's really true as far as coaching goes, whether it is me, thank you for that little note, but whether it is me or somebody else, it's like it's not one size fits all for coaching. So what would you suggest when you were looking for coaches? Because there are so many of us out there. And granted, I don't do like the runway and all that sort of thing. I do mindset and confidence, just exactly what you're speaking on. So when you're finding a coach, or even now as, an entrepreneur, a business owner, who do you look for? What kind of qualities do you look for in a mentor?
You look for, and this applies to all aspects of life, when you're wanting to choose things, listen to your internal heart. If you feel good when you're listening to something and it resonates within, that's who you're supposed to be, because I believe that God sends us who we need to be with at that time in life. So really listen to it. If it doesn't feel right and you're going, then that's not the person for you. So really listen to your inner GPS, if you will, and that's the person. So I actually looked on YouTube a lot, and I was researching platforms and pageantry and people who were involved in the systems and past title holders, and I always look to the people who have gone ahead and I follow what they do. So I did a lot of research. So yeah, do your research, but listen to your internal guidance system. And Tori, when I came across you because of Alicia, I was just like, you are amazing. You have all the secrets to the success mindset, and this information needs to be with the whole world. So keep on doing what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate those sweet words. I really do. So as far as any other lasting pieces of advice for any women listening, whether they are competing in pageants, maybe they're an entrepreneur wanting to become a public speaker, you're incredible at that. What kind of advice would you like to give them?
Always do what you love to do. That's how I was able to build a business, find my why, and be of service to the world. And when you think about being of service to the world, for someone who has no idea what they love to do, that sounds like a big thing. So don't just forget I said that. Just do what you love to do, the first step. Because when you do the things you love to do and you're open, then that is when you find massive success in your life, and you just keep on going along those roads. I will say, Tori, that this world that we live in, especially in these times, it's filled with negativity. Now, we have the choice. We can choose to either go on the negative road, or we can choose to be positive. So if you're around people who are constantly complaining, or if you're being in a pageant and you weren't happy with the results, and you're around people who complain, just back yourself away. And I'll tell you why. Because you're actually destroying your inner energy, and your energy is what you use to create in this world. If you're around negativity, it will take you down into a deep, dark hole. If you're around positive people, then that will build you up and you'll keep on going on this amazing life journey. And you'll look back and you'll be like, I can't believe I just did those things. So it's really important to choose. Do you want to be on the negative train or the positive train? Choose today your thoughts. And if you get the negative thoughts, it's okay. Just say, I don't think so, devil. This is what I'm about. And you have the power within. Don't look at the TV and think, but this world, COVID and this and that. No, shut it off. You have the power and it's all within. So I write about that in my book too. So
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for just coming on today and sharing your love and light with everybody. And I'm just really excited to see your book come out. Everybody, go buy her book when it comes out. Please, where will people be able to contact you if they have any questions at all, and also purchase your book in a few weeks, hopefully?
Thank you so much. I do have, it is my name, Laura Jane Ratliff, on all Instagram and website and so forth. But if you don't know how to spell that, just text 888-111-LAURA, and then you'll get all of my social media handles.
Amazing. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Laura. And it was such a joy chatting with you. And hopefully one of these times I'm going to come visit you in Australia.
You're always welcome. As I said, if I'm not there, you've got the key.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, please follow me on social media at Miss Tori Kruse. Until next time, be unstoppable.